I have a stock Ryzen 5 5600X, RX 5600 XT and 12 games. Let's test this. In Cyberpunk 2077, without upscaling, the AMD Duo reached 50 FPS on average with Ultra preset. I know, it's not 60, but it's one of the top AAA titles now, it's on Ultra settings and it's most definitely playable. I would say it's more than okay for a 3-generation old GPU and an affordable CPU. In Call of Duty Warzone 2, the 5600 XT pushed the average frame rate to 118 FPS on Ultimate Quality preset. That means that you can play on higher refresh rate monitor without sacrificing visual qualities. For all of you competitive guys out there that made my test very hard to complete by killing me many times, with competitive settings the average frame rate was 141. Forza Horizon 5 I tested on high quality preset and the average frame rate was 119 FPS. Okay, but what about Ultra and Extreme? Well, I did test that and the game was running well, but I was getting a warning message that the video memory was full, and yeah, it was full. But for me, on high settings the game still looked amazing and it was an eye-pleasing experience to drive around Mexico.
Jonah, I'm in.
In Shadow of the Tomb Raider, the 5600 XT reached above 100 FPS on average. The 1% and 0.1% were quite close and way above 60 FPS. All the stuff you need to enjoy Lara. I mean, to enjoy playing with Lara. I mean the game. To enjoy the game. Doom Eternal, the perfect stress releasing tool from 2020, pushed the frame rates to 195 FPS with lows above 100. Here again the 6GB VRAM was not enough to play on Nightmare or Ultra Nightmare settings, but Ultra with almost 200 FPS, I take that every day. In Battlefield 5 from 2018, the 5600 XT also had no problem to pass the 100 FPS mark with 126 frames per second on average, with the lows not so far behind. However, there were some strange artifacts in some reflections, which were not a big deal, and if you're focused on the action, they're not gonna be a game changer, but they were there. Besides that, pretty smooth gameplay. Fortnite had 87 FPS on average on Epic preset, guaranteeing that you are above 60 frames while having maximum visual quality. Of course, lowering the graphical settings would lead to an increase in the frame rate for competitive gaming, but who does that? Just kidding. The average FPS with low settings and Epic distance was 236. The 5600 Duo had no problem with the classic from 2015 GTA 5 and delivered 85 FPS on average. It has been 8 years since this game came out and it still looks good. Assetto Corsa Competizione ticked the box for 1080p at 60 also with 0.1% low. Everything I could put to max, I put to max. No problem whatsoever. Well, there was one problem. The RX 5600 XT did not make me a better driver. but it did make the game look good and run smoothly. In Dirt Rally 2, the holy grail of WRC simulators from 2019, the system scored 95 FPS on average and above 60 frames for the 0.1% low. What more do you need? A triple screen setup, Fanatec wheel pedals, shifter, handbrake, racing seat.
Into 2 left long, into 3 right, 4 left, into 6 right, extra long of a crest, 6D, 6.
Metro Exodus from 2019 is one very good looking game, and the 5600 Duo managed to show it with a very respectful frame rate on extreme settings and tessellation turned off. I tried to turn the tessellation on, but all I got was a 30% frame drop without noticeable visual improvements, so the tessellation stays off.
Back online.
Smell it.
Finally, in Witcher 3 Wild Hunt, when using Ultra Graphic preset, the frame rate was always above 60 FPS, which translated into a smooth gameplay experience without sacrificing any visual qualities. You can enjoy every detail of Geralt, Roach and all the rest of the creatures in the game.
Of course, when armies pass, necrophages follow. Let's go before any more show up. Come on.
Overall, in the 12 titles tested, without any upscaling and with high quality settings, the 5600 Duo from AMD had average frame rate between 50 and 195 frames per second. In 11 out of 12 titles, the 60 FPS threshold was passed with between 40 and 225%. In all those titles, the GPU is capable of utilizing a 75Hz monitor, as well as a 120Hz monitor in some of the titles such as Metro Exodus, Forza Horizon 5 and Battlefield 5. If we're talking about a 60Hz monitor without variable refresh rate, however, I would cap the frame rate to 60 and enjoy the low power consumption and heat of the system while playing without any screen tearing. In the 12 titles tested, on average, the 5600 XT delivered 106 average FPS, 80 FPS for 1% low, and 68 FPS for 0.1% low. In combination with stock Ryzen 5 5600X, the GPU passed the magical 60 FPS barrier even with the 0.1% low, making the system fully capable of smooth 1080p experience with high graphical settings, also with higher refresh rate monitor. The power consumption of the total system measured with the power meter was 62 watts in idle and 250 watts on average for the 12 tested games. The number varied between 230 and 275 watts depending on the title. And what does that mean, you ask? It means that a 4-hour gaming session would cost you 1 kWh, no monitor consumption included. The temperature of the GPU in Fortnite did not exceed 65 degrees Celsius with ambient room temperature of 22 degrees and being in a closed Lian Lancool 215 case with 2 intake and 1 exhaust fans. In the same conditions, while idling, the GPU temp was 46 degrees Celsius with GPU fans off. I measured the noise level of the system with a very primitive method, so please use this just as a rough idea. According to a phone app, at a distance of 20 cm from the closed case, the noise level of the system was 35 decibels while idling and 38 decibels while playing Fortnite. Most of the noise came from an extremely annoying and loud stock Ryzen CPU cooler and the 3 case fans, so I would say the card itself was pretty quiet. The Radeon RX 5600 XT combined with Ryzen 5 5600X was more than capable of delivering between 50 and 195 frames per second at Full HD with high to maximum settings in the 12 games I played. The GPU proves to be a good match also for faster monitors in the range of 75 to 120 Hz, since it can actually reach those frames in some of the titles. Of course, at the end of the day, it all comes also to money, so I would say if the price is right, the card is a very solid choice for 1080p gaming on high settings in the beginning of 2023. Not bad at all. Thanks for watching and see you in the next video. Subscription to the channel is not required in order to close this page, but is highly appreciated. Bye.